You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 LPFM Lexington. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the hottest talk radio show in Lexington. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or if you are out of the Lexington area, you can download the WLXU app on your smartphone device. Beautiful Thursday. Amber Turner is in the studio with me. Amber, it is the first of the month, August 1st. So you know you're going to see a lot of people out today.
A lot of people are already out.
It's back home. You know what they call the first of the month?
Check day.
They call it check day.
Check day. I remember check day very, very, very vividly.
It's when people get their check and you cannot move in stores. Stores like Walmart, the grocery store, Target, good luck getting around.
Hey, my granny would run your heels over. She would. She didn't play.
And the traffic is insane on the first of the month.
Yep.
A lot of people are artists. They like to sit on the porch, draw their check.
Oh, gosh.
Have you ever heard people say that?
I have. My papa used to say that. And as a child, I was thinking, well, Papa, don't you draw a check too? So are you an artist?
He used to make fun of people that drew checks. No, it's a lot of people get their check at the first of the month, and it's usually retired people. And a lot of people don't go anywhere unless it's the first of the month. So for a lot of people, this is their first time getting out of the house.
Yep. I just wonder, though, if that's more of a Eastern Kentucky tradition, or is that something... I mean, there's always a lot of traffic in Lexington, so I think it might be a little harder to gauge, but I just wonder if that's something that we only do in the mountains.
Well, you got to think, my mamaw, she did not leave the house much. God rest her soul, she lived till she was 96 years old. She didn't leave the house a lot. She stayed home a lot. And the only time that she went out was whether it was to go to church or it was the first of the month, like today. She would have loved today because she was out and about in public.
I'm just curious if we've got some people from Lexington that want to let me know if it's the same here as it is in Eastern Kentucky. I think that would be interesting to compare.
I'm sure there are a lot of people, because old people are old people. I mean, and people who draw checks are the same in Eastern Kentucky, New York City. I'm sure it's the same. Amber, it's been a very, very busy, interesting, exciting week. How was your week?
It has been, I think, a very emotional, exciting week for both of us.
Yeah.
So I heard you done something this week.
Yeah, I did. I did something very, very exciting this week, and I did something that was totally... It took me by surprise, actually, how this all came about and how this all happened. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show today to actually, I want to say thank you. I want to use this platform right now to say thank you to everyone who watched Midday Kentucky on ABC 36. I actually got to do something really cool this week. I got to fill in as co-host for Midday Kentucky on ABC 36 from 12:30 to 1. And that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. So here's how it all come about. I've been doing this podcast game for about 5 years.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that has went into this.
I know.
So I started the podcast, and those who have listened to me before on podcasts, you know the story about how all of this got started. It started in my living room, on my couch, with an iPhone, whatever iPhone was out at the time.
Probably the 3.
Yes, probably the 3 or the 4. It was 2014. I hit record and just started talking, and then that's how it happened. And I eventually, after a lot of consistency and a lot of promoting of the podcast, in April of this year, 2019, I was offered a position on this radio station to do a show. And since I've done this show here on the station, things have been taking off like a space rocket.
Yeah, they have.
Things have really started to turn around. It's wild because all of these months and all of these years, even when I was doing the podcast, I felt like I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't say I felt like giving up sometimes, because I
feel like we had conversations like that, but I think you knew deep down that this is what you were meant to do.
Well, one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard, it was from Denzel Washington. He said, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you will eventually get a haircut. And that has stuck with me forever. So I was doing the podcast, then ended up on the radio, and then I was wanting to find ways to promote off the cuff. I was looking for ways to do it. So I started reaching out to different television stations, asking if I could come on and just promote the show. I just want to promote it. I just want to come on. I just want to talk about off the cuff. Well, nobody responded to me, of course, like they never do. I mean, I don't know how many radio stations I have submitted the idea of off the cuff to, and they turned it down. But so ABC actually reached out to me. They emailed me back. That's something that I'm not used to, getting emails back.
I need to know exactly how you felt when you saw that email come across.
So it was on Facebook, and it was from the producer of Midday Kentucky. She asked me to email her and kind of just tell her a little bit more in detail about what Off the Cuff is, and I emailed her. She wrote me an email back, and this is on Saturday. This is on this past Saturday, and she said, we would love for you to come on and talk about your show, but I'll do one better for you. How would you like to come on and co-host for a couple days this week? It's very similar to what you do on your talk show Off the Cuff, just in TV form. Well, immediately I said yes, because when are you going to get an opportunity to go on television?
Oh, yeah.
And do it? So how I felt when I actually seen that come across my screen, shock. I mean, I was like, no, this is spam email, or it's just a generated email that they're sending me back. But, of course, when I said yes, because you have to put yourself out there.
You have to.
You have to.
And you've never been afraid to do that.
No. If you think that things are going to fall in your lap, they don't.
No.
They literally don't. Yeah, you can ask the universe all you want for things. You can. But you can't just ask the universe for things and then
not put any work
and then go
into
into the house and make a sandwich. You can't do that. You actually have to put forth effort and to put forth work. So when I got that response back from her, I said, yeah, of course, I would love to. And then that was kind of, she was like, great, I'll see you Monday at 12. She said, I'll see you there at 11:30. I'm like, okay, but what exactly are we going to be talking about? What is the show going, what's the format of the show? She told me to go on and watch a couple episodes to kind of get used to the format. So that's what I did. I did a little bit of homework, went in, watched a few formats, a few segments of Midday Kentucky, but that's all I had to go on. I thought, a lot of people think there's a lot that goes into doing a TV show. There is behind the scenes, but I was surprised of how much is already done for you when you walk into the studio.
I would say it was extremely organized.
Well, like doing Off the Cuff, I have to come up with all the topics. I have to do all the production. I have to make sure everything is smooth while I'm hosting. When you're on TV and you're working for a big television station, everything's already done for you. The questions are already, or not the questions, the topics are already sent to you. You already you already have a guest. Somebody already makes those calls to get the guest on the show. There's nothing you have to do except show up and host.
So you felt like me, because that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Because you have everything done for me.
It was very nice for a change, because it gave me an opportunity to focus solely on just the hosting instead of just the production and coming up with content for the show. That was already done for me. It was really cool. First time ever on live television. And let me tell you, when I walked into ABC on Monday, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't. And it was cool. I walked in, and they treat those studios, they have them decorated just like it's a national studio.
I would say it was beautiful.
Oh, there's big pictures of like ABC programming, like Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, The View, 2020, Ron and Kelly. They had all of these just big time, American Idol. They had all these big time shows that are on ABC just hanging up on the wall. And I was like, this makes you feel like you're in Hollywood. It makes you feel like in Hollywood. And I got to, everybody there was super nice. Everybody was super nice. They took me behind the scenes, and they showed me how the production and everything works, how the producer's not in the studio like you think. She's sitting in a completely different room with a microphone talking to you in your ear, which I didn't accept the mic piece to go into my ear because it distracts me too much. I said, the last thing you want me to do is to jerk that thing out on national TV.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that. I say national, statewide TV. Statewide. But it was a really cool just to see behind the scenes and all that good stuff.
Well, I think the biggest question that I have is, how did it feel? I guess, I said, you kind of felt like me, but how did it honestly feel to kind of be like me? Because you were on there. You had someone else who was acting as you. You had, you had a host who was there and she was, directing conversations. How did you feel I know you said you had some pressure taken off of you, but how did you feel to just kind of sit there and know that you could just be Adam Banks for just a minute?
Well, when you sit down and you're sitting down in those chairs and you hear somebody yell, okay, we're 30 seconds out. You hear them yell that and you're like, okay, let's hit the ground running. It's showtime. It's showtime. Like, you have to be on your game. And there's just something in me. There's just something that just adrenaline just starts pumping through my blood. I'm like, okay, this is fight or flight. It's go time. Like, when those cameras come on, there's nothing you can do about it.
You cranked up the voltage.
You have to turn up the voltage. You have to be yourself, just with the voltage turned all the way up. Yep. And that's what you got to do. And if you notice, you asked how I felt kind of being the co-host instead of the host. Did you watch the second one I was on?
I watched, recorded, and then rewatched multiple times.
I really felt bad because I felt like at the beginning of that table talk, the first segment of the show, I felt like I stepped over her. I felt like I talked over her and I kind of created these conversations that she had no idea where we were going to go with them. So I don't know how she felt about it. I don't know if she was like, ooh, I like the way you just kind of took over the conversation or not.
Well, I can speak from my own point of view. You like to throw zingers at me constantly when we're on, when we're live on the air. And obviously she has much more experience than I do, but sometimes it's, it just flows because you have a way of making sure that the topics that you talk about, A, you know a lot about it, and B, they are kind of just, they're things that everybody else would want to talk about.
Yeah. There's so much more I want to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about this more on the second segment because we got to take our first commercial break. So ladies and gentlemen, stick with us, and we'll be right back after these words.
Slide on the pimp gang with my pinky ring.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with me. We last left you talking about my appearance on Midday Kentucky on ABC 36, and what an experience it was. It was one of the best things that I've ever done. It was one of definitely the most exciting things that I've ever gotten to do. And my co-host, her name was Amber, so I was not afraid at all of messing up the name. I was like, that's comforting. I actually am used to saying the name Amber so much. I'm like, that's actually comforting. I know that I'm not going to mess up the Amber. But Amber Freeman, she works for ABC 36. She's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Can we just state the obvious?
Can we just talk about how pretty she was for just a second?
Let's just take a... Yeah. She is absolutely beautiful. And, like, when you got somebody looking like me besides somebody like that, I'm like, no, stop it. Because she really was just a very, very attractive, beautiful lady.
She looked as though she would be someone I would want to be friends with.
And she's as nice as she is beautiful. And that's what I really liked about her. She was very comforting. She was how was our chemistry?
I got a little jealous because I was like, wow, she's bringing some intensity with him that, it's taken us, 20 plus years to get. And here you are, on your first day with her within the first 5 seconds. And I can already see that there's fireworks going off. I think it worked really well.
Yeah. I think it did too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that I'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on Midday Kentucky from 12:30 to 1. So I'll be co-hosting again if you want to check that out on ABC 36 and let me know what you think about it.
So before we move on from this topic, I did have a couple of things I wanted to say to you. And I personally withheld saying this to your face because I definitely wanted... I want people to understand that you've put a lot of work into not only this radio broadcast, but when you were going on, to co-host with them, they might have only told you on Saturday, but I feel like you jam-packed 2 weeks worth of getting ready in 2 days. So I just wanted to take the moment to tell you how proud I am of you. It takes courage to just make yourself vulnerable to the public. And although you've been doing the podcast for about 5 years, the last week you have made yourself vulnerable every day. And the dedication you show me every day makes me want to be a better person, and it makes me want to be a better radio personality. I'm just thankful that I not only get to work with you professionally because you are magnificent, you're creative, and you're a hardworking individual. I'm just very thankful that I can actually call you my person, because you are Adam Banks.
I wish I could flip the camera around and show you the raw emotion. And there are tears streaming down her face right now.
And that took me a lot of gumption to get that said.
I really do appreciate that. And thank you for the support. And everybody who has supported me and has sent me videos and of them watching the show and recording the show and telling me that you're going to watch tomorrow and telling me that I did well. That really means more than you know. The support has been more than what I could have asked for, and I didn't think that there would be people out there that supportive, but the ones that have been, thank you very much. And Amber, you know you're my person.
I know.
You know you're my person.
I am the president, CEO, and COO of Adam Banks Fan Club.
Of the fan club. You certainly are. You definitely are. So check me out tomorrow, Midday Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen, from 12:30 to 1 on ABC 36. Set your DVR if you're not able to watch it, and it will be pretty cool. Chad on the show thread says, Amber's going to make me tear up. I mean, Chad, you're another one. My buddy Chad, he sent me these messages. He's saying, Adam, thank you for, or he was like, Adam, I'm so proud of you for doing what you're doing. Zach sent this big long text message out. My buddy Zach, who has been on the show before on the March Madness series, all the support, and I want to thank WLXU too for giving me this platform and letting me use this to promote myself and believing in me. I think it's ridiculous when people don't let anybody do anything because they don't have experience. That's the most absurd thing to me ever, because when you say that, you are saying that people don't have natural ability.
Yeah, and that's something that you have.
Well, that's just, give me a chance. If I go out there and I completely bomb it, at least you gave me a chance. Just give me the chance. What did I say on day one of this radio station? Here's what I told WLXU. I told the station this. I said, all you need to do is you need to give me the platform and I'll take care of the rest.
And you have.
Give me the platform and I'll take care of the rest. So hopefully it just keeps going, and I couldn't do it without the support of everybody, and thank you so much for supporting. It's awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, before we transition to another topic, I think it's time for Off the Cuff to take its Song of the Week choice, and I should mention that this song that we're going to play, Amber knows every single daggone word of this song.
Every word.
How do you have time to learn the lyrics?
I remember when you first heard me sing all the words to this, I feel like I had never left you speechless, and I feel like I left you speechless. Like you were just astonished.
Well, sit back on this beautiful Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy Off the Cuff's Song of the Week. So just imagine Amber knowing and singing every single word to this rap song, because it's reality. It happens. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Off the Cuff to take another commercial break, and that's what we're about to do. But stick with us, because we got lots more coming right at you after these words.
Turn it up! Slow songs, they for skinny girls. Can't move all of this, here to one of those. I'm a thick chick, I need tempo. Get up to the tempo. Pity pat, pity pat, pity pity pat. Look at my...
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber Turner is also in the studio with me. If that song don't make you want to get up
catch that.
and
I got up and I shook it all over the place.
I was about to say, if that song don't make you want to get up and shake it, I don't know what will.
I was dancing harder than what I would have danced at 8th grade in Beaver Creek.
This is Lizzo with her song Tempo featuring Missy Elliott. And I played this because, Amber, you actually went and seen this woman this past weekend.
I did. So not only was it an absolutely amazing concert and probably one of the best performances I have ever seen from any artist, this was actually her first headlining arena, and it was sold out. So you could just see the raw emotion coming off of this lady. She stopped several times just to thank us. It was deafening. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're just in there, and it honestly, I was like, I can't hear my own inner thoughts right now, but it was just absolutely beautiful.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. So I want to talk about something that I feel like a lot of our listeners can relate to, and I think a lot of people can probably chime in on the conversation. So guys and girls, listen up to this conversation here. I got to ask you, Amber, and this is a question for all of the females listening. What is it truly that you think that guys do when we hang out? When all of us guys get together and hang out as a group, I'm curious, what is it in your mind that you think that we are doing? So, Amber, since you have the mic, I want to know what it is that when I say, hey, I'm going to go hang out with the boys tonight, what do you think that we're actually doing?
Honestly, I don't know. I really don't. Like, when my husband hangs out with his friends, I always wonder, like, what are they doing? Like, do you all act differently? I mean, I don't know how exactly to put it into words. It's just, I guess I have a feeling that you guys don't have many deep conversations, and it's a lot of random sports talk and things that would absolutely bore me to death.
Well, I have asked a couple women before, I was like, what is it that you think that guys do? And a lot of them shared a very similar answer. They said, we always imagine the worst. We think that you guys are out partying. We think that you're out drinking with one another, trying to hook up with chicks, trying to just chase women the entire time you're hooking up. And I was like, it couldn't have been no further from the truth and every guy can agree with me. That is not what we do when we hang out. It's going to surprise you when I tell you what guys do when we all hang out.
Okay.
It's going to surprise you. Here we go. We are talking about what we are doing at the time. So if we are bowling, we're talking about bowling. If we're hunting, we're talking about hunting. If we are watching a basketball game, we're talking about the basketball game. There's not a lot that goes into what guys do. It's very, very boring. For instance, the other weekend, last weekend, me and my friends got together, and I started looking around, and I started just laughing at the fact of how just simple it was for us just to get together and have a good time. Ashley on the show thread says, you are watching stupid YouTube videos. That is true. Me and her husband, Zach, watch the things that we do it's hilarious. Like, we think it's entertaining to watch infomercials on pillows when we get together.
Okay.
Yeah. But the other day, my friends get together over the weekend, and we played almost something very similar to a board game.
Okay.
But it was for baseball cards. And I was laughing. It was just this board. It was like this big board with baseball cards.
Okay.
And the cards had points, and the points were determined by the position and how good the player was, and you just played a little game with it. You played baseball just with baseball cards and like a board to play on. So it was very similar to a board game. And we spent, I kid you not, about 6 to 7 hours playing this game.
Oh, goodness.
And had the best time ever.
Well, okay, so there are a couple questions that I do have.
Yeah.
I know that when I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriends, depending on who you are, like the level of, I don't want to say intimacy that we're on, but like the closer I am to you, the less likely I am to do this. But do y'all get ready?
Do we get ready to hang out with one another?
Yeah, like do you like if I'm going to go hang out with girls that I am just okay with, I'll take a nice shower, I'll fix my hair, I'll put my makeup on, I'll put on nicer clothes.
No, we don't. It's basketball shorts, cut off shirt. Donnie Newsom shirt, of course, but I will always just wear just casual clothing. It's around the boys. Now, we played this board game, which, by the way, don't you miss board games? Board games in general is just something that I wish would come back. Board games were the
best thing from my childhood.
Oh, God.
The absolute best.
Oh, you had...
They wouldn't nothing better than staying home from school and playing Monopoly.
On a snow day.
Yes.
Oh, not only Monopoly. Me and my sister... I think board games is... You can only really play a board game with one... At least... You have to have at least another person there.
Yeah, you have to.
So, me and my sister, I feel like we built our relationship just as siblings just by playing board games. I mean, we played it all. We played Monopoly, Life, Clue,
Shoots and Ladders,
Sorry,
Mousetrap,
Battleship, Mousetrap.
Guess Who.
Oh, yeah, I love Guess Who. Guess Who was a good one. But I like board games because of just the social aspect of it, the interaction. And that's what me and my friends were doing the other day. We were literally playing a board game. Just that social interaction that you get to have that you can't have with people on video games. Yeah, you can talk to them through the microphone now and with the headphones, but it's still that real, raw, like face-to-face interaction. I miss that.
Well, have you heard that Monopoly has now been, I guess, upgraded, and you can actually get a debit card instead of somebody actually dealing out money? You get a debit card, you slide it if you end up on somebody's spot, and it tells you, okay, I'm going to deduct this. It's kind of like normal adult life. I think we need that game.
Board games, there was some strategy with board games. You had to strategically try to win.
You did.
With Monopoly, you had to buy up all the property.
Yep.
Clue was the best because you got to be Inspector Gadget.
You were.
You got to try to figure out who killed who, where, and what with.
I've seen some good fights over a Clue board.
And did your mousetrap, did it ever work?
No.
Did you ever play Twister?
I did, and I almost re-broke my knee.
Do you still still play Twister?
That's gonna be a no for me.
Only when you're drinking? And you played Naked Twister, probably, don't you?
I mean,
when you're drinking. Because a lot of adults, they like to keep Twister alive and they like to play it naked.
I think that would probably terrify my dog, so I'm going to say no.
But sometimes there could be an all-out war with people who play board games. I mean, I've been playing before with my sister, and she'll kill me for saying this. And I'm guilty of it, too.
I was going to say, I've played with you, and you're very competitive.
Yeah, we both are, me and her both. And I remember before when we didn't agree with how the game was going, I remember at times we would just flip the game. We would just flip the board. The pieces would go everywhere, the money. Because game over. We both... It was intense.
I will say my stepsister and I, we actually kept a game of Monopoly going for almost 2 years. Same game. We never took it down. It's just we would walk back in and we'd keep a little note and we'd start playing again.
Okay. So Stephanie on the show thread says, question from Candy. So this is a coworker of mine, Candy, that I work with. She says, I need clarification. Are you on pillows together? Are you on pillows together watching infomercials or watching pillow infomercials? Okay, talking about me and my buddy, we're watching infomercials on pillows. That's how we entertained ourselves.
But what did you pull away from that?
We spent 30, 45... Well, I bought a pillow from this man. From the pillow man. You know that pillow man that has the thick mustache that sells real comfortable pillows?
Yeah.
We watched 35 minutes and just laughed at just how funny infomercials are. Do you remember Billy Mays?
Yes, I remember Billy Mays.
Billy Mays here, selling you this wonderful vacuum cleaner. He loved vacuum cleaners. But just in general, just when you hang out with your boys, when you hang out with your guys, girls, when you think that your guy's out just chasing tail. I can't believe I said chasing tail.
I know.
When you feel like that the guys are out trying to just drink and cheat on you, chances are they're just kicking it with the boys, and whatever he says he's going over to do, give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what he's doing, and I promise you, he's not talking about this date that he went on. He's not talking about the girl he likes. Guys don't really talk about that kind of stuff. We don't. We talk about what we're doing. I promise you, a man can sit down and have a 30-minute conversation about this microphone and be entertained by it. That's just how we're programmed.
That is not how females are programmed.
I'm curious, what do girls do together when they hang out?
I get together every Friday night and play cards.
You do?
I do. So we'll drink a little wine. We'll play some spades. We will talk about our relationships. We'll talk about work drama. We'll talk about, I'm back in school, so they'll ask me about school. They'll ask me about the show.
Yeah.
And that's probably the first 30 minutes. And then the rest of the night, we will find things to talk about. We'll talk about old coworkers, old drama. Somebody will post something on Facebook. We'll start playing some music, and that's maybe the next 30 minutes. I mean, I feel like women, we jam-pack a lot of stuff in a short amount of time.
Do girls pillow fight?
No.
So is that something that you see in the movies?
Look, now... So when we used to do sleepovers when I was young, we actually used to put on talent shows. Full-fledged talent shows.
How old were you when you was doing this?
I'm going to say 6th grade to 8th grade.
Okay. 8th grade might be getting a little bit too old to be doing that, but 6th grade, we'll go with it.
Yeah. We would actually have talent shows.
Okay.
And they were probably the worst thing because I never saw the point in them. I was like, man, this is not fun. But I was going against the grain on that because everybody else was enjoying it. And I'm like, I can't sing, I can't dance. So
it's funny that we we are guilty too. Guys are guilty for coming up with what we think women are doing when they're hanging out
So
together.
what do you think that we're doing?
I think that you guys are all in your little pajamas and you're sitting there laughing and you're throwing pillows at each other and you're like, stop it, that hurts. And then
Could you really see me doing that?
and you're doing each other's nails and your toes, and you're just talking about the guy that you saw today at the store and how you think he's cute, and this boy that you want to go out on a date with. You might call somebody and all the girls are like, he, she's talking to her crush. That's what I feel like a girl's night is.
No, maybe a girl's night, but still no pillow fighting. But maybe when I was younger. Woman night, no, we're drinking wine and trash talking.
So you do drink wine though?
Yeah, I'll drink a little wine.
You don't play truth or dare, nothing like that?
No.
You're not giving me any of the good stuff, so it's really that boring?
Because we don't do any of that. I mean, if there are women out there that do that, please invite me. Invite me so I can bring back these things to my friends. But no, we don't do that.
Did you ever sneak out and go see a boy that you like?
Yes.
Okay.
Several times.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it wasn't sneaking for me because my mother was absent and terrible. But I have been a part of some of my friends who have snuck out, and man, that was intense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was intense.
Getting them back in the window, helping them back in, making sure
geez.
the parents
just trying to get the window open without somebody hearing or a sibling coming in. Yeah, it was intense. That was probably one of the biggest highs we ever had when we were growing up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to take our last commercial break, but stick with us because we got our last segment still to do right here on Off the Cuff. We'll be back.
And a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up, a lot of sea song.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Last segment of the hour. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with me. Our governor is in the news again. He just loves to be making headlines, don't he?
Well, and they're never headlines that are actually beneficial to anything.
Matt Bevin says that suicides are part of the societal costs related to casino gambling, as he lashed out at his opponent's support for expanded gambling as a way to help fund the pension. So, Matt Bevin says that gambling addiction leads to suicide, and he says that at least somewhere, somebody, at least one person around the world is committing suicide due to a bad night at the casino.
So are we going to now not allow alcohol in the state of Kentucky? Are we no longer going to allow marriage in the state of Kentucky? Because there's a lot of things. When you don't understand mental health, you probably shouldn't talk about it, Matt Bevin.
In a radio interview Wednesday, Bevin said every night somewhere in America somebody takes their life in a casino because they've wasted the last semblance of dignity and hope that they have had. So he says families are ruined due to gambling. Let me just say this. I agree with you, Bevin, as far as gambling addiction is bad. And yes, there have been families that have been ruined for gambling. But if you call casino gambling that a lot of that will cause suicide, what in the heck do you call horse racing in Kentucky? What in the heck do you call the Red Mile? That's gambling. These slot machines, what do you think that is when somebody puts in $50? What are they hoping? They're hoping to increase that. They're hoping to gamble that $50 they put in there to increase their revenue. And again, we talk about horse racing. I've seen people drop hundreds of dollars at Keeneland.
I've seen people drop thousands of dollars at Keeneland.
I've seen people drop thousands at Keeneland and the Derby, Amber. And if that's not gambling, what is? So it's okay for that to be going on in this state, and he's all for that. But as far as casino gambling, he don't like that. He says it's a sucker's bet.
I think he honestly just thinks of these controversial things, like maybe why he's in the shower and he's like, ooh, that's going to make some people mad today. I'm going to talk about that to keep himself relevant.
Well, what it is his opponent, Andy Beshear, he is a big advocate for wanting to legalize casino gambling. He's wanting to bring it to the state. And I think that's fantastic. If I was governor, one of the things that I would do is want to legalize and bring casino gambling into the state to help our pension. We are in terrible condition in this state with our pension. And Beshear wants to bring that in. And Bevin is retaliating and trying to say that it's going to cause suicide because of the gambling addiction.
That was a poor choice of words.
And we're setting everybody up for failure.
Whoever his PR rep was, I'm sure they were probably just putting their head in their hands because they knew that, the towel was done thrown in at that point.
Bevin says the revenue generated would not come close to fixing the state's pension woes and says there's no political appetite for expanded gambling in Kentucky. What does that mean? No political appetite to expand gambling in Kentucky?
Well, I have a legitimate question, and if you have an answer, I would love it, or if anybody who's listening has an answer, I would love to hear it. So he says that it won't get us anywhere close to where we need to be, but I don't know about you, but if I had no dollars, I would take any job that I could get to have some dollars.
Yep.
It still might not be the amount that I need, but a little's better than none.
Yeah.
So I think that in its entirety, that entire statement just kind of goes against everything that we need him to do for this state. We need any bit of money that we can to make sure that these teachers have a good pension fund. Not only the teachers, but all of our state workers have a good pension fund.
Yeah.
So we're going to take no dollars so we don't bring gambling that's going to cause suicide, but okay.
Amy on the show thread says, that's ridiculous. He really said that? Yes, indeed, Amy, he did. She said, shaking my head. Gambling is not the only factor, and that is really far-reaching. I agree. Look, Bevin, he's got to understand something. I know he's very conservative, and I know he's trying to stick with his guns on this whole gambling thing, but if it makes sense to bring in gambling, why don't we bring it in? Because people are still leaving the state and going across the river just a couple feet away to Indiana and to Ohio and taking money that could be spent here in this state, but we're spending thousands with other states.
Yep.
Could you imagine what kind of financial shape we would be in if casino gambling opened up all over the state?
Well, it not only, is a leisure activity, because it is a leisure activity.
It's fun. It's relaxing.
Fun,
yeah.
But you're going to look at the amount of people who are employed by these casinos. Because, it's a lot of automation, but you still have to have people there.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of people. Somebody's got to bring me that nice taste and pop, And with that's going to come a hotel, so you're going to have people doing that. So, not only are we going to get money from, for the pensions, but we're actually going to be creating jobs. Why would you not want that?
Yeah, why would you not want it? It makes no sense. Before we go, I do want to touch on this. It was just released before we went on the air that Mitch Barnhart has announced that for the 2019-2020 season, no alcohol will be served at any UK sporting event. Now, listen here. I like that ruling.
Yes.
I'm a fan of it. I think it's ridiculous that people can't go somewhere without getting their brains completely annihilated through some type of drug. And yes, I said it. Alcohol is a drug. It's addictive. I've said it before on this show. More people have been put in the ground because of alcohol than any other drug out there on the market.
No, I agree with you.
Okay, so I think that it's not the atmosphere. It's not the place to have a lot of drunk people just being able to freely just get trashed with all these families around. I've said this before. NFL, it's fine. It smells like pee and it smells like it just smells like urine and beer at tailgates. That's fine. Yeah. You know what to expect. But when you're going to UK and you're going to a place where there's a lot of families, then I just don't think that people should be able to go and freely just get obliviated.
I just don't see what the hype is to go. And I don't even understand tailgating, which is why I usually don't go. Why would you want to go and get drunk in a random field where you potentially could get into an argument? Because I've seen a lot of arguments when I have went, and it's usually cold.
Yeah, and I'll also say this. You can still buy alcohol if you're wealthy. You can still go and you can buy alcohol because they have these different sections for rich people, these private boxes, and they serve alcohol in that. Now, I'm not for that either. I don't think that's fair. I think if you're going to ban alcohol for the general public, then you need to ban it everywhere. Just don't be in favor for the rich people to be able to drink.
Well, I don't know if it's for the rich people, but they're in a box. If you've paid to be in that box, you paid to play. Go ahead, have you a beer. But when you come out and you're amongst the crowd, then that's when it should be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have, and I think that's what Mitch Barnhart meant. I think he is saying that they can keep a better watch on the boxes, but when you are letting a stadium of 65,000 people drink anywhere in that stadium, things are going to get out of control. Now, there are stadiums that do it and nothing happens, but there is ways to increase revenue with UK football. But alcohol is not the only way.
No.
It's not the only way. And you know what? Just drink. If you want to drink, just drink a little bit before the game.
Yes.
Who wants to get trashed and watch? You're going to be. I'd get sick.
Especially being higher up in the bleachers where we can only afford to see it.
I would just get sick. I would puke my guts out if people just want to sit there and drink the entire time. I just get drunk. Enjoy the game. Be in the moment.
Learn some things.
Watch what's in front of you. Sober.
Yes.
Have a sober mind.
Look at the people around you.
Take your shoes off. Walk around on the grass.
Throw peanuts in some girl's hair sitting in front of you.
like I did.
Adam did.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for listening to another episode of Off the Cuff. And if you want to follow the show, you can follow Off the Cuff on Facebook at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Follow me on Twitter at AdamBanks88. Follow me on Snapchat at Adam_Banks. Follow me on Instagram at AdamBanks818. Eventually, I'll have one name for all Twitter handles, so I don't have to make you memorize all of these things. And if you want to follow Amber, you can follow her on Instagram and Snapchat at Ambu447. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next Thursday from 4 to 5. But I will be on Midday Kentucky tomorrow from 12:30 to 1 on ABC 36. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting me on that and supporting me in anything that I do, really. Those on Facebook Live, thank you for watching. Those listening at home on the app, thank you. Those who are driving in their car listening, thank you. Thank you. I can't say that enough. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Amber Turner. I'm Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. And we will see you in the next episode.